One man that has a very up-close and personal relationship with Winx, being the racing manager for Chris Waller, is Liam Pryor, and he joins us on the phone right now. What's the buzz like, Liam, in Australia, and where you are anticipating Winx's return?
Well, I'm at the airport at the moment, so there's not a huge amount of buzz here. But no, look, it's been a sensational build-up this week. We had a media morning at Rosehill on Thursday. The papers, TV, you name it, it's sort of really got behind her, and certainly from a Sydney perspective, it's been very well promoted by the Australian Turf Club, and I think they'll get a good crowd out there today. And why wouldn't they? It's it's going to be hopefully another special moment.
What have you seen in Winx to say that she's going to be able to continue her winning streak?
Well, nothing's changed, and I think Chris has sort of indicated that this week in various interviews. She hasn't changed a hell of a lot. She looks great. Work's been of a very, very high standard, as it always is. Her trials have been normal. All the feedback we get from her riders has been very positive. So everything seems to be on track. 1,400 metres today, and I think there's no reason why she can't continue a winning streak.
How extraordinary is it to have a mare like that? You've just described that, even at this stage of her career, she's very similar to last year and the year before, and things just keep ticking over with her. How extraordinary is that, given her age now?
Yeah, I think probably from 2 or 3 seasons ago, she every time she returned into the stable, she'd put on weight, and I think she just continued to strengthen and mature. That's plateaued now, but when you look at her in a box, you can tell. I know Chris has sort of said she sort of looks like any other horse, but when you actually get to see her in a box, she's got that aura around her like champions do, and she just glows. So it's when you get up close and personal with it, you really do appreciate the heroics and her greatness, because I don't think we'll see it again.
In New Zealand, you'll be able to watch Winx on Te Abe Trackside 1 at 10 minutes to 6 as she competes and tries to win her 30th in a row at the Apollo Stakes. In race number 7, it's the Light Fingers, and Liam, we get to see an ex-Kiwi in Melt line up. She's been seen at the trials a couple of times. What have you made of her most recent trial when she was 4th?
Look, the trials have been good, and just what Chris wanted of her. Condition-wise, she looks in excellent order. She's actually put on weight since she's arrived, but I think she presents in great order today, and I think she'll run a very competitive race.
It's obviously a high-quality bunch of 3-year-old fillies. You'll get more of a line on her, but realistically, or how much of a realistic chance is she of winning, do you think?
I think she's a genuine top 3 chance. Obviously, over 1,200 metres, it's probably. I think at 1,400 in the surround in a fortnight's time, which is a Group 1 1,400 metre 3-year-old fillies race. I think that's when she'll be bang on, and sort of ready to hit a peak. But she's done everything right since she's arrived. She's a very straightforward horse. Trials have been good, works well, eats well. She looks well, so I hate to use the term, but she ticks all the boxes and she's done nothing wrong. So she presents in good order today, and I think she'll run a very competitive race.
Good to get those positive reports. What's the team's best at Randwick today?
Winx.
Okay, Winx out. Winx out market.
Take Winx out. Take Winx out. I think Perret in race 4 is probably, despite the wide draw, I think he's a very good chance, and he's probably the 2-year-old Nico. He'll be very hard to beat.
to Flemington, where you also have a number of runners, and you've picked up a Very Elegant. What sort of horse came to you when you picked up Very Elegant?
She's in very good condition. She's a tricky horse. She's got an awkward head carriage, and just to get her using herself efficiently, today we'll just ride her quiet from the draw and try and get her to switch off. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of speed on paper, which may make it a little difficult, but we've just got to get her operating properly, and she's a very, very talented horse. I don't need to tell you that, and I think she's a genuine Group 1 horse for the autumn, providing she's using herself efficiently.
So Ring-a-Ding-Ding's come out of the CS Hayes, but you've got a couple of other runners in there, including Performer and Adana. What are you expecting from both of those? Adana's well in commission betting-wise.
Yeah, probably a little bit of a surprise. Performer's been a horse that's always just struck wide draws and wet tracks, and he doesn't like wet tracks. He gets a good deck today to race on. I know he steps up in trip, but he worked very well the reverse way at Rose Hill, so he worked the Melbourne way on Tuesday morning. The riders were extremely positive about the way it worked. So, look, either one will do, but I think I think the market's probably underrated Performer's chances a little.
And you've also got the Lean Mean Machine and the Black Caviar Lightning. Sort of going through his career, were you sort of trying to feel out a little bit what his best trip was earlier on in the season?
Yeah, he's always been an unfurnished colt, and he's now just come into his own. I think his best trip will probably be around that 1400 metre mark, but he's sharp, he's fresh. He's another horse in very good order. Look, today's a nice lead up going into the new market. It wouldn't surprise you to see him sort of come off their backs late and explode and finish over the top of them. But ideally, we just see him hitting the line strongly and getting to that handicap in a fortnight or 3 weeks' time. It would be ideal.
He certainly has shown that explosive turn of foot on occasions when he's raced in Sydney. Okay, how about at Flemington? Which horse would you nominate as your best winning chance?
Pretty keen on a horse called Mountain Breath in the first. She steps up from 1200, but she's an imported mare from the UK. Ran super first up over 1200 at Moonee Valley, and they went slow, and she got home strong, and I think she'll be very hard to beat.
$4.40 here in New Zealand with Damien Oliver booked to ride race number 1 at Flemington. And just before you go, Liam, of course, plenty of interest in New Zealand with our prelude to the Derby, the Avondale Guineas. You've got Botti lining up there, and also Nobu, who will be presented at Ellerslie. What can you tell us about those 2 3-year-olds and sort of how well they are?
Both, according to the team over there, they've settled in really well. We're staying with Brendan Lindsay, and just an immaculate facility they've got there. So we're very fortunate to have them in very good hands. Both horses have, I think they're genuine staying horses. Nobu's run last start, which was really good, and he finds obviously he wasn't going to get a run in the Guineas, so opted for the easier race, and I think he'll be very hard to beat, despite the wide draw. Body, he'll relish getting to a trip in a fortnight's time, but with even luck, he should be very competitive today.
When was it in their preparations this time that you and Chris Waller and your team sort of formulated the plan to come to New Zealand and attack the Vodafone New Zealand Derby with those two?
Well, Nobu's owned by Mark Wyborn, and he's a very proud Kiwi, and I think it's always been a dream for him to win the New Zealand Derby, and likewise with Botti, he's owned by the Mulo family, or Tony Mulo, and I think both very proud Kiwi families, and would love to win the race as most would. So the timing was right. They were up and ready sort of a little bit earlier than we'd need them to be for the Australian Derby. So it made sense to get them over there a little bit earlier and give them a lead up, and then on to the Derby.
Through your assessment of them and also what you've seen of the New Zealand crop of 3-year-olds, how confident are you that you'll have good success today and also moving forward to the Derby with those two?
Oh, look, you can never underestimate the New Zealand form. It's, your horses can win your Derby and come over here and win ours, so, it'll be tough. But they're fitting well and they're genuine staying horses. So, I think given that they're presenting in full health and good order, and they're going to run out the trip, they're both going to sort of put themselves forward, I think, as genuine chances in a fortnight.
Liam Pryor, racing manager for Chris Waller, has just joined us on the Punters Lounge. Thanks to you, Liam. All the best with Winks and also the entire Chris Waller team.